Hi! This is an unplanned video, but I've seen some questions about how or where I get my merch from, so I decided to make a video about it to help other armies who are starting out with merch collection or just the ones who want to buy, for baby armies who don't know where to get one. So I decided to make this, although I'm super uncomfortable in front of the camera, but I've been so busy lately that I don't have time to edit as much as I want to. So I just decided to film myself instead of doing a voiceover because editing in so many details is gonna take longer. Let me just give you a background about how I got into BTS. Initially, I didn't understand K-pop at all, but I first encountered BTS, like I first watched their performance back in 2017. It was during their GNA era. I watched their performance from a late night show, I forgot, but I was so surprised because I've been seeing them trending on Twitter, on YouTube, on everything else. Because if you're on the internet long enough, it's inevitable that you hear about them. So that's my first ever encounter with them on YouTube because YouTube recommended a video to me and then I clicked on it and then I was like, wow, okay, so they deserve the hype that they're getting and recognition that they're getting. But I really wasn't into K-pop back then because I didn't understand it. Like I said, it didn't stick with me, but I distinctly remembered that because I was surprised that they have 7 members because I thought that 7 was way too many people in a band. But anyway, fast forward to 2020, I've been binge watching Park Seo-joon K-dramas, and then my friend recommended Hwarang to me. She mentioned that there were K-pop idols in there, and I really didn't have any idea. There were some idols from BTS, SHINee, and other famous actors. So I decided to give it a try and I enjoyed it and I loved their chemistry so much. So after I watched the whole series, I looked up some videos of their interviews on YouTube and then that's how I got into another Bangtan bomb where Jimin and Jin, I think, or Jungkook, were teasing Taehyung for saying I love you to his Hwanang Hyungs and he never says I love you to his fellow BTS members. So I think that was the first video that I watched and then from there I got curious and I clicked on some James Corden videos. The first one that I watched was Carpool Karaoke. I was intrigued by them and then from there I started binging their interviews. I got into their performance videos and then I was amazed at how talented they were. And afterwards I just fell into the rabbit hole that is BTS. That was back in April of last year. So I've been in ARMY for about a year and a couple of months now, although that's still considered pretty new, but I've had my fair share of experiences on Twitter and on buy and sell Twitter that I feel like I've been here long enough to allow me to be able to give some opinions and share my thoughts on the shops that I buy from. So let's get into the reason why I made this video. Okay, so initially I had a hard time looking for merch because I downloaded the Weverse Shop, but shipping fees are super expensive and they're sometimes even more expensive than the item itself. So here are the ways that you can get your merch. First is through the Weverse Shop. You can actually there are a lot of ways you can get your merch, but here I'll just discuss the more common ones. So if you're from the Philippines, there's the Weverse Shop and then there is the Japan Fan Club. So I'm not really that familiar with Japan Fan Club. I know some shops who do orders or do group orders from Japan. So I'll discuss that a bit later. First, let's focus on Weverse. So for Weverse, you can get actually I'm pretty much all over the place because I'm just saying things on the top of my head, and I'm just discussing as I go. So for Weverse, you can, if you want to purchase directly, you just use your credit card or debit card or PayPal. What you do is just log on to the Weverse Shop app and put your details. That's it. You can check out directly. But if you want to save a little more, you can also rent Korean addresses for you to be able to save on shipping fees. So for example, the shipping fee for this one would be like $23 to the Philippines. But if you ship this directly to Korea, I think there's a minimum of 30,000 won for you to be able to avail free shipping. So if you ordered this one, the whole set, it's above $30, so you'd be able to get the shipping fee for free if you deliver to Korea, and then you'll just have to pay a minimal fee depending on the size of your package or your box to the lender. So I got my D-Day calendar. I purchased it directly through Weverse, and I asked the shop if they are open for Korean address rentals, and they said yes. They call it Korean address lending or rental. So yeah, then they said yes, and the fee for renting the Korean address is 420, but it depends again on the weight, size of, and if your items is super bulky, it will cost more. But that's an example. So what the seller does is they pool all orders together so that you can save on shipping fees. So you can get the item that you got for its item price on Weverse plus 420 pesos plus local shipping fee. So if you prefer doing that, it's really convenient too, because all you have to do is to pay for the rental fee, which already includes the international shipping. So that's one thing that you can do. The most common one that we do is join group orders. I didn't know that a whole marketplace on Twitter exists before K-pop. So before you go into buy and sell Twitter, there are some terms that you need to know. These are the easy ones. PH, which stands for Philippines, KR Korea, JP for Japan, GO is group order, WTB want to buy or willing to buy, WTS want to sell, willing to sell, WTT is willing to trade or want to trade, LFS is looking for seller, LFB is looking for buyer, DOP, another term, is date of payment or deadline of payment, DOO is date of order or deadline of order, MOP is mode of payment, also MOD is mode of delivery. So the modes of deliveries vary from shop to shop and of course from location to location. If you're within Metro Manila, you can use SDD or same day delivery. That's Grab, Lalamove, Mr. Speedy, Tok, and there are a lot more. And then also another important thing, ETA and ETD or release date. ETD of course is estimated time of departure. Usually that's used for the boxes in Korea. For example, the estimated time of departure of this batch or box number is this one. So it's pretty self-explanatory. And then ETA, there are two types of ETAs. ETA is estimated time of arrival in the Philippines. So there are two types. There is fast ETA and then the normal ETA. So for fast ETA, the items arrive usually in the seller's Philippine address within 2 to 3 weeks from release date. The only downside of that, if you want to get your items faster, you'd have to pay a bit more because fast ETAs normally use air couriers, air shippers, air cargo, and then the normal ETA, that's what most of us use. It arrives within 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes 8, depending on the delays. So you'd have to be really patient when ordering because most of the ones that you order are pre-orders. Payo is pay as your order. Also, yeah, for the DOPs, A lot of shops have flexible DOPs or deadlines of payment. Some shops offer like a minimal down payment and then you pay the rest when the item is on hand. Some shops like do 50% on this date, 50% on this date. Some shops offer installment plans as well. So if you're kind of on a budget and don't want to spend that big amount on one go, you can opt to look for shops who offer long DOPs or installment plans. And trust me, there are a lot. And some shops also do like 3 days reservation and then 3 days reservation and then pay the rest on this date. They will give you another deadline. So it really depends on the shop. And also, one thing to consider is their shop's location, because one shop offers prices cheaper than this shop. It does not necessarily mean that you can really save, because some shop might offer this price for 100 pesos cheaper, but they may be far from your place. For example, I'm from the south of Metro Manila and I've experienced ordering impulsively on shops who are way from the north. So I saved on the actual item price, but I didn't really save on the shipping costs. So in the end, if I bought the item, the shop that is nearer to me but has a slightly higher price, I would have saved 50 pesos or 100 pesos. So it depends really. So you'd have to consider that as well. For the order process, some shops do like mine basis, some you would have to DM them to order. And most of the shops also have order forms and some also have websites. So you'd have to be really careful in scrutinizing all the details, because when a shop provides an order form, first thing that you will see is the terms and conditions of the shop.
Okay, side note, if you're a minor and you really want something from the shop, please make sure that you get your parents' permission or consent first.
You will see there the detailed ETA, DOPs, the refund or cancellation policies and all that. You have to read those carefully because they can bite you in the butt someday. So after you send it, you would have to wait for a while to receive an order confirmation from them. Even if you just DM them, comment mine, they would have to acknowledge at some point your order. So they do that through an order confirmation. In the order confirmation, you will see all the payment details and the deadlines of payment. The shops with a lot more following take a bit longer to confirm payments. Also, when a shop has a large following, that doesn't automatically mean that they're trustworthy, because I've had an experience with a problematic shop who has like 20,000 followers on Twitter, but they were super unprofessional and you can tell that the admins are not really coordinated and they keep on pushing the blame to one another. So just be careful. Most shops have helping hashtags, helping tags. They usually have it pinned on their Twitter. Most of the shops have dedicated hashtags for their feedback, so you better check those out as well. And that's where you can see the legitimacy of the shops. I've also had an experience with a shop that was pretty new, but I decided to take the risk. And although I did receive my item, it's just that the way they handle their customers and the way they handle the shops, you can tell that they're pretty inexperienced and I think they're pretty young as well. So, and also, just because a shop has feedback, it doesn't mean that they're 100% legit. I've also had an encounter with a shop that, although I received my items and our transaction was pretty normal and decent, the ones after me got scammed. As a lot of people reached out to me and asked me about this one if they were legit, and I said yes because I received my stuff. I ordered twice from that shop and I received them, but apparently the month after I got my orders, they didn't get theirs and the seller just like ran away or deactivated or something, so you'd have to be really careful about that. I'll mention some shops that I really love and I really trust. Oh yeah, also, aside from KR at address lending, some shops also do JP address lending or Japan address rental, but those aren't really as popular as KR address rentals. Also, some shops do purchase assistance and box sharing. I haven't tried them yet, and you would have to ask the shops directly because they're pretty accommodating naman. And also some BTS collaborations in Korea and Japan outside of the Weverse Shop app. Most of these shops are pretty updated on all the merch releases, and they do group orders for almost everything, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. So if some shops also do pasabays in Korea and Japan, so you'd have to just look for that as well. So like I said, Twitter search is your best friend. So for Japan items and fast ETA items, my go-to is at BGNKLabPH. A huge plus is we're just in the same village. And another one of my favorite ones is there's Magical Soul, as in SEOUL, Soul. She's just also from my village, so that's why she's one of my go-tos. Aside from the fact that she does long DOPs and her items are reasonably priced as well. I also order from Soul in Love PH. I got this from that shop, this pajama along with the PCs. Another one is Fan Soul PH. It's better to order during the pre-order period because aside from the cheaper items that you get, I mean the cheaper prices, you also almost always have pre-order benefits. May it be like a photo card, a film strip, or poster, or a notepad, or postcard, or anything else. Once the items are on hand, the prices really go up. So it's better to order during the pre-order period. But it's really understandable if you can, you know. You don't really have to buy everything that BTS releases. I mean, I buy it because it makes me happy and it's my stress reliever, and it's my way of showing my support to the guys, aside from streaming, of course. Also, I'll also link some shops below in the description box. I'll link some shops and some informative Twitter threads of problematic shops, so you know who to avoid when you order. Dalcom Day is also a good shop. One that I got my Roich BTS surprise box from is Moonshine MD on Twitter. Also, if you're a fan of like BT21 items, I get them really cheap from Magic Shop 7 on Twitter. She mostly sells photo cards and BT21 items. These two I got from her at a steal price. If I forgot to mention some other shops, I'll just link everything in the description box. I love typing in the description box for some reason. So if I missed out on anything or any detail, you can find everything there. Also, lastly, I have a giveaway. I have an ongoing giveaway. It's an Unsealed Butter album plus random official T-Money mirror card. I will also include this in the... There, can you see it? I'll also include this in the small box of BTS goodies that I mentioned in my giveaway. It ends on July 31st. I'll announce the winner on August 1. I also edited the form. All those who sent their forms already do not have to resend, but I added in a name and an email address for you because initially I only required the Twitter. I didn't realize that some people joining do not have Twitter. I'm sorry about that. So I added in a name and the email required. But for those who already sent in their entries, you don't have to resend again. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for joining my giveaway as well. I'm gonna end it now because I'm really sleepy. It's about 12:30 in the morning and I came home from a whole day at work, so see you guys. I'll probably upload my next video in the next couple of good night. Bye!